9 centuries before the birth of Jesus of Nazareth, the entire lineage of the promised Messiah came down to a single, hunted 1-year-old boy. To understand the gravity of that moment, you have to look back at the covenant God made with King David. The promise was absolute. David's throne would be established forever, an unbroken royal line that would eventually bring salvation to the world. But over generations, that sprawling royal family tree was violently pruned. War, assassination, and betrayal erased branch after branch, funneling a massive cosmic promise down to one terrifyingly fragile point of failure. If that specific baby took his last breath, the ancient promise made to David would be broken, and the biblical narrative as we know it would simply end. The threat to that child didn't come from a foreign empire. It started as a geopolitical calculation. To the north, the kingdom of Israel was ruled by the Omri dynasty, an incredibly wealthy and militarily efficient family that dominated the ancient Near East. Their political success masked a brutal spiritual reality. Under King Ahab and his Phoenician queen Jezebel, the Omrides institutionalized the worship of Baal and Astarte, a fertility cult that relied on state-sponsored violence and the systematic execution of rival prophets. Looking to secure his northern border, King Jehoshaphat of Judah made a fatal diplomatic compromise. He arranged a marriage between his son, Joram, and Jezebel's daughter, Athaliah. In ancient Judah, the highest female authority wasn't the king's wife, but his mother, a position known as the Gevira. Athaliah weaponized this official, institutional seat of power to direct the kingdom's policies from the shadows of the palace. Jehoshaphat's treaty did not secure a lasting peace. It injected the ruthless methods and idolatry of Jezebel directly into the bloodstream of the Davidic line. The crisis ignited when Athaliah's reigning son, Ahaziah, was suddenly killed during a military purge in the north. The throne of Judah was left dangerously vacant. Facing the loss of her influence, Athaliah made a chillingly calculated move. Rather than step aside for an heir, she ordered the systematic execution of every rival to the throne, including her own grandchildren. Amidst the slaughter, a princess named Jehoshaphat and her husband, the high priest Jehoiada, managed to pull one infant boy from the killing floor. They smuggled the 1-year-old prince, Joash, into the one place Athaliah couldn't easily control. For 6 years, the boy lived completely hidden deep within the stone walls and private chambers of the temple complex. While a usurper sat on the throne and imposed her mother's pagan system on Jerusalem, the legitimate heir and the entire weight of the messianic promise breathed quietly just a few streets away. When Joash reached the age of 7, Jehoiada, the high priest, decided the weighing was over. He organized a meticulously planned, military-grade counter-coup. Using the routine of the Sabbath, Jehoiada coordinated the guard shifts. Without raising suspicion, he amassed a secure perimeter around the inner courts. Safely behind those shields, he brought the boy out, placed the crown on his head, and anointed him the rightful king. Hearing the sudden blast of trumpets and the roar of the crowds, Athaliah rushed into the temple precincts. Standing there by the royal pillar, surrounded by guards, was the living proof that her violent purge had failed. She tore her clothes and screamed, "Treason!" but the guards ignored her. On Jehoiada's strict orders, they dragged her out of the sacred grounds and executed her at the palace's horse gate. Her execution violently excised a deep spiritual rot that had nearly extinguished the royal lineage of Judah. Immediately following the coup, the citizens of Jerusalem took to the streets and demolished the rival temple of Baal that Athaliah had built inside the city limits. Yet human kingship remained deeply flawed. Decades later, after his mentor Jehoiada passed away, King Joash abandoned his loyalty to God. In a staggering act of betrayal, he even ordered the execution of the priest's own son, the child of the very people who had saved his life. This failure highlights a crucial reality. The royal bloodline didn't need to survive because Joash was a perfect king. It had to survive because humanity desperately needed the flawless king that his lineage would eventually produce. We know this dynasty was a concrete historical reality, not a theological myth constructed by later writers. In 1993, archaeologists excavating in northern Israel uncovered a shattered basalt monument, now known as the Tel Dan Stele. This is a fragment of that monument, featuring a 9th century BC Aramaic inscription. Right in the middle of a victory boast by a foreign king, the text explicitly names the House of David. Carved during the exact era of Athaliah's coup, this stone proves that the dynasty she tried to wipe off the map was acknowledged and feared by its bitterest ancient enemies. The survival of the House of David demonstrates that human tyranny cannot override divine providence. God's plan of redemption advances unstoppably. That 1-year-old boy, hidden away in a storage room, grew up to ensure the survival of a family tree that would stretch forward another 900 years, culminating in the birth of Jesus of Nazareth. Athaliah's total failure to destroy her own grandchildren preserved the timeline. It guaranteed the ultimate promise, a final king from the line of David, whose reign will truly never end.
If you enjoyed watching this video, do like the video and please subscribe to Jesus Tell Tales channel for more such videos in the future.